Thank you, Sydney, for sharing. Next, I'm going to share the story of Juanita Jimenez and her journey of defending against injustices towards women. Juanita Jimenez was a lawyer and leader in the women's autonomous movement and was an activist who played an important role in the women's health and reproductive rights sector. She was most famously known for her supporting the abortion of a 9-year-old girl who had an illicit abortion after being sexually abused. Jimenez grew interested in political rights and noticed inequality as a child because she was able to experience both sides of wealth. Her father's side of the family were wealthy nobles, while her mother's side were less fortunate. Even though she was privileged enough to receive some of the top education with her father's support, she mainly lived with her mother's side of the family and saw the divide between statuses. By reading and writing down notes that I believe backed up our argument, I was able to summarize the works and goals of Juanita Jimenez. In the interview, Jimenez described many of the cases she worked on to involve sexual abuse in which the perpetrators were fathers and grandfathers, but questioned why there was so much blame towards the victim. She continues to say that families will sometimes deny the violence and abuse that was happening because they chose to believe the aggressor to overcome the damages. The concept of androcentrism is shown largely through the scenario in which men are seen to be the leaders of the family, which leads to families being less likely to out male perpetrators in order to maintain order within the family. The lack of accountability for the perpetrators encourages the continuation of abuse. Even though Jimenez has faced difficulties all throughout her career, she found the experience of the government trying to convict her for aiding in abortion to be very difficult. She continues to express how hard it was to see that women were at risk of losing their individual freedom and the possibility of being imprisoned. She argues that the power of the justice system doesn't respect the rights of women, which again may lead the aggressors to feel that they have the liberty to attack because the law won't do anything to stop them. She faced criminal charges because of her work. She tells the reporter that Nicaragua's penal code, which allows the termination of a pregnancy when the life of a woman is at risk, was in the works of being eliminated, but was later found that the idea was presented by someone tied to the Catholic Church. Prior to mentioning this, she emphasized that Nicaragua is a secular state in which the law is above any religion. So, because of the ties to religious beliefs, she felt that the justice system was moving backwards and that abortion is a fundamental human right in Nicaragua and would contradict the government's obligation to protect women's rights. This goes with the topic of institutional connections such as religion and family dynamics. As mentioned in the lecture, the intersectional perspective will only continue to show us how systems such as government will exacerbate the inequality if religion is involved in decision making. While reading through the transcript of the interview, I was really intrigued by the different yet similar perspectives on women's rights. Though both countries struggle with androcentrism, I found that the implementation of it was more prominent in Nicaragua. The work that these activist women are doing is extremely important, as it shows other women that they are being supported and need to stand up against policies that are violating their human rights.